As a musician, I've discovered that working alone or even with a band in the vacuum of the studio or rehearsal space, I can sometimes forget that creating songs is a two-way conversation between the artist and the audience. In the case of a live performance, this dialogue goes on in real time and is a very rewarding experience. When it comes to recording music, this is a somewhat modern technological balancing act where an artist can easily get lost within the process and start to lose focus on the other half of the musical equation, the listener. This is not to say that musicians shouldn't work on new material for themselves. That's the first half of the story. But the other part, the essential piece that completes the puzzle for me, is when someone else can share in what I've created. Nowadays, this is an incredibly easy process with email, Facebook, and other ready-made methods for sharing audio, video, and photos with others. This leaves one final step in GarageBand to explore that makes this all possible: sharing your final mixes with others.
The Share menu in GarageBand offers a number of automated methods for getting your song out of GarageBand and into people's ears. There's also the option of skipping anything automatic and just exporting a full resolution audio file to disk, ready for you to do with it what you will. We covered doing this at the end of the movie about Mixdown earlier, and you can always save it to your local computer or an external hard drive and burn it off from Toast or from the Finder, or send it directly to iTunes as a full resolution file and burn your CD from there. One of the ways that we can send songs to iTunes, by choosing it, you'll see our options, and we can compress the file and choose AAC or MP3. However we want it to be in our iTunes library directly, or as I pointed out in the Mixdown movie, I like to send them out uncompressed and then make my conversions to MP3 or AAC over in iTunes and sort of manage that process from iTunes. Whatever you enter here in the metadata fields will also carry over, and you can edit that information further once you're in iTunes as well, so it's not imperative that you get this right at this point. Although if you do save a file directly to your desktop and then get that file out to others, if it is something like an MP3 where it does carry with it all of this metadata, then you probably do want to make sure this says, what you'd like it to say. The other options you have, if you're working on a ringtone, you can send your ringtone to iTunes through this menu as well. If you are working on a podcast and you're using iWeb to build your website and publish that podcast, you can send the podcast directly to iWeb from here. And if you're scoring a movie, you can send it to iDVD as well. It's not what we're working on currently, which is why that's grayed out. But those options are available to you. And finally, you can burn songs directly to a CD right out of GarageBand, and your final mix will go to CD just as you created it. If you need to adjust any of your settings, they're available under the triangle here. You can either mount the CD on desktop or eject it when it's done. And I can close this up, click burn, and we now have a CD being mixed down and burned of our final song.